Good morning. My name is Gail Colby. I was excited to be invited to be part of the consecration team this year. We are all blessed in different ways and at different times in our lives. If you are unfamiliar with Consecration Sunday, it's about giving because of your commitment to Jesus Christ. We can become emotionally attached to our money or emotionally attached to God, who gives us our money. I would like to think we can do both, but of course we can't. So when we trust God more than we trust our money, we can grow spiritually. I like how Leanne Mao said in our first meeting when we were talking about giving, that giving is about a relationship. And Jesus summed up the spiritual connection between God and money this way in Luke 12:34, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. So I'm going to tell you a story about me trusting God and learning to give. In 1997, my grandmother passed away, and sometime within the next couple of years after that, her house was sold, and I received a check from her estate over $6,000. This was a lot of money for us, and it still is to me. And this is when we received a tax refund. So whenever we got our tax refund, the first thing I did was make sure we paid our auto mechanic and our plumber if we owed them any money, because we just seemed to always have ongoing car repairs and drain problems, and I often had to make payments to these people. So when I received this check over $6,000, I immediately started making a list of home repairs or things that needed to be replaced. Our home was built in 1960, and I know no one wants to replace orange shade carpet because it's super cool, but that might have been one of the things on the list, like linoleum and just things that break in a house. I don't even remember exactly what was on the list. I knew that I might not ever have this much money at once again, and I was feeling called to tithe from this gift before we started on this list of repairs. I've never done that before, and I thought this might be my only chance. We were regular givers, but definitely not tithers. My oldest son had just been to Bible camp one time, and he loved it so much. And so that was something I really felt passionate about. And I know that we paid for part of the registration, and the church paid for part of it. Otherwise, I'm not sure that we could have afforded to send him. So I was really grateful about that. I think they still do something similar now. So I wanted to tithe to this Bible camp fund. So my husband didn't tell me not to do it. I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, "That's very generous." He said, "It's your money, and you should do what you want with it." And I know I was afraid, because there are needs, and there are wants, and there are responsibilities, and there's always seems to be emergencies of some kind. Then my husband came home very excited with good news that everyone is getting this additional tax refund besides your regular one. So this was back in probably 98, 99. I tried to Google and figure out what it was from, so I don't know if it was from state funds or federal funds. I'm not sure, and I don't remember. And we didn't know how much it was going to be, but we were excited. We thought it might be a couple $100s. So I tithed to the church for the Bible Camp Fund $637. The tax refund check came in the mail within the next few weeks. My husband opened it and looked at it and said, "Isn't this what you just gave the church? Like $624? I said, "I'd have to look," I'd say, "but that is unbelievably close." Now, this story is 20 years old, so I don't remember all the details and the exact numbers, but I do remember this. Number one, I did receive a check over $6,000, and it was not an even number. Number two, I did tithe exactly from that uneven amount, because I remember Pastor Dave saying, "Why that odd number, Gail? And why not just 600? And I explained to him about it was a gift from my grandmother. And number three, I do remember the difference between the tithe and the refund was like under $20, and they were both these odd numbers. And I remember how I felt. I felt like, I think God was saying, if you feel like I'm asking you to give, just give. I see you, I won't forget you. I know you might be afraid, but I'll make sure you have what you need. Now, everyone might not get a story that's quite this blunt or a sign from God, but sometimes God is kind of blunt with me because I'm kind of stubborn, and my husband was quite skeptical. So I think that God did this for both of us. But it's hard for me to not look at that story and go, or to just say, oh, what a coincidence. I really felt like God was talking to me. Now, as we move toward Consecration Sunday, it's 2 weeks from today on March 10th, each of us will be thoughtfully considering our answer to the spiritual question, what percentage of my income is God calling me to give? So if you can take this paper out of your bulletin, it's called the Grow One Step Sheet. And I'm going to give you some figures to write on those steps. Is there enough pencils for everyone? Steel, what? Okay. So on the first step, way at the left side, on the bottom where it says $0, write $791. This means 791 members are not recorded at contributing financially to our church ministries in the past 12 months. Okay, the next step, 1 cent to $4.99, write a 69. 69 members are contributing at that level, and that would be comparable to a Big Mac value meal. I Googled that, so it's like $4.89. Okay, and then the next step, $5 to $9.99 per week. Put 104. We have 104 members contributing at that level. That could be comparable to admission to a movie, probably matinee movie. I haven't been to a movie for a while. Is everybody following me? Okay, and then the next step, go up to $10 to $19.99 per week, and put a 61. 61 members are contributing at that level, and that could be compared to a game of golf. Okay, then go up to the next step, $20 to $29.99 per week. We have 0 members at that one. You could compare that to a haircut, depending on your barber or your hairstylist. Okay, then go up to the next step, $30 to $39.99. Put 75. There's 75 members giving at that rate. The next 2 steps, 40 to $49.99 and 50 to $74.99, put zeros. 0 and 0. We got nobody on those steps. Then up to 75 to $99.99, 61 members. The next 2 steps, 100 to $149.99 and 150 to $199.99. Those 2 are zeros also, 0 and 0. And the top step, 200 and up per week, those are 27 members. So when Susie did this, it's a total of 1,188 members, and the members giving on our steps that are contributing are 397. Just some more statistics for you. I always find this chart kind of interesting. Okay, then you can take out this one that looks like a chart with lots of numbers on it. Okay, let your eyes go to way down to the left-hand side of the scale until you find your approximate salary income. Then move your eyes across and to see where your weekly giving level is. If you can kind of figure out what you would give weekly, or if you'd have to divide it if you give like once a year or something. And then if you go straight up, you'll see the percentage signs. That will locate the percentage of your income that it represents, that you give. It's not too hard once you look at it a little bit. Okay, we have a celebration brunch at 9:30 during the fellowship time on Consecration Sunday, March 10th. So start praying about what percentage you think God might be asking you to give as your commitment to Jesus Christ. Even if you don't think he'll answer you, even if you think my story was kind of strange, I challenge you, even if you have to put a reminder in your phone for the next 2 weeks, to just do a short prayer and say, God, what are you asking of me? Even if by Consecration Sunday you don't think you were answered, you still prayed to God for 14 days in a row or more, and he is listening to us, and he's working in us, even when we don't see it.